This is episode number 235 of the Middle Country Public Library podcast. Hello and welcome. Sal DiVincenzo here in the studio with my fabulous colleagues, Sara Fade.
Hi.
And Nicole Rambo.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
It's a little warm this week. It is a little warm this week. It is summer, though. So
It's exceptionally warm, though.
yes, better now than in the middle of January. Then we would be in trouble. Or in Arizona. Anyway, we're going to jump right into our segments. Nicole, why don't you go first?
Sure. It's really just, I don't know what it is today. I was on Common Sense Media.
Oh, yes.
So
what is Common Sense Media, Nicole?
It's a website for parents, educators, and advocates that kind of talk about different media and what they think their appropriate age ranges are for each thing. So, and they do everything. They do, podcasts, apps, books, movies, TV shows, all those kinds of things. And it's nice. It's, there's actually, if you click on it now, the heading was know what your kids are into before they get into it type of thing. You know what I mean? So they kind of see what's coming up and you can kind of get an idea. If you hear a book, I mentioned several episodes ago about the little girl who was asking for those books that I read, you know what I mean? And so stuff like that. So you hear this title over and over again, or you hear about, this movie or TV show and you're like, what actually is that? And you can kind of get an idea without having to watch it yourself if you're not into it. What other parents think that's appropriate, kind of what all is in it. Is it not appropriate because of cursing or, because of drug use or, whatever the case may be. So you can make your own decisions on whether you want your child to read it, watch it, listen to it, whatever.
Great.
So there was some that might be popular coming up, especially for teens. There was it was on Prime. So if you have Prime, The Summer I Turned Pretty was a big one that's pretty popular. It was it's a book by Jenny Han, who's To All the Boys I Loved Before fame. So this is another book by her. It turned into I think it was a movie. I heard it was very good. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it was really good. And parents say 13 and up is good, and kids also can leave their reviews on Common Sense Media, which is nice. And they also agree that 13 and up. It's in our YA section, so all around seems to be.
That's interesting. I could just imagine a 9-year-old going, I'm a few years early on this one.
Yeah. Well, I guess 13-year-olds and up are saying it's appropriate for 13 and up.
That's appropriate for me.
Yeah. Another one that came out at the end of July is Paper Girls, which is a YA graphic novel. So that got turned into a TV show again on Prime. And it's a very popular graphic novel.
Is this the time travel one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and it has parents say 14 and up, kids say 13 and up. So, around that age. Again, it's in our YA section, so that's it fits for where it is in our collection anyway, where it's usually housed in most libraries. They say it's a suspenseful time travel tale that does have violence and some strong language. That's kind of what they're saying.
I like the way it's very straightforward. It's you go to the page, it tells you exactly what you need to know.
It's nice. And both of these actually have 4 out of 5 star ratings too, overall ratings, so that's good. So people seem to like them. And then there was this book that I saw on there called The Elephant Girl. It's a Common Sense selection for families, and this is for ages 10 and up. So it's about a girl who comes of age in a powerful, inspiring story. She lives near a elephant reserve. I think it's in Zambia, and she finds these elephants near a watering hole, and it's her. And I think her father was killed too, so it has a little bit of violence, I guess. But and then her relationship with the people and with the elephants, and then poachers come along and saving them and stuff. And in the beginning of the summer, do you remember that story about the elephant?
Yes.
And the lady?
Yes. Rightfully so.
There was this story about in India, actually. I think it was in India.
Uh-huh.
This old woman, she's in her 70s, older lady, was at a watering hole, getting water.
Okay.
And an elephant trampled and killed her.
On purpose?
Oh, yeah. And then, so the town found her, and they were having a funeral for her, which is I guess it's outdoors, and it's kind of like that. Well, the elephant showed up to the funeral.
No.
Picked up her body, swung it around.
Are you kidding me?
Put it back down and left. And didn't touch anyone else. Didn't really disturb the village. Just came there to do what it had to do and
That's
left.
freaky. That's really freaky.
Well, elephants never forget.
And they say
Why?
that and this is very because it's a small town village in India, so you know what I mean, and getting this news story is a couple of things removed and stuff like that, even though you can find it. I find it on pretty reputable sources and stuff like that. But it definitely did happen. But people are speculating, they don't know for sure, that she might have helped poachers.
Oh my goodness.
At one point, even if it was years ago, like take away one of her babies, one of these elephant's babies. He saw her, or she recognized her.
Wow.
And and they're on
that is something.
I'm pretty sure they're on a sanctuary, so they couldn't do anything to the elephant.
No, yeah.
And I don't know if anyone was really asking them to. Like,
No.
and there's one they did interview in one of the articles I read, like an elephant expert, and he wasn't gonna say this lady did that, but he did say, well, elephants don't really forget things.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they're known for their very, lifelong memory and, and so, like he's, like I said, he didn't, say like this woman did that, but he was just saying, and it's not usual. He also said it is very unusual for them to just do this out of nowhere. They're not like violent like that, where they would
specific to this person.
Yeah, especially because they strolled up to the town, like the village, and it's just that one, it's just her. Like other people were at the funeral and they didn't bother them.
Oh,
They
wow.
just had some beef with that lady.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, when I saw this book, it reminded me of that because it's like a little girl and like an elephant like hugging on the car. You could just like elephants are like, so anytime you see like a video of the elephants, they're like it's like so cute and they're always like watching their babies and like they're
they're family oriented,
very much so.
What a crazy story.
Yeah. So
I said the lady probably deserved it.
I feel like she did. Like
she did.
Yeah. That's some story.
Yeah. So that's that book. If you and your family are into elephants,
it's like not enough that the elephant killed the woman, but it's like I'm going back and I'm going to ruin that funeral.
Yeah.
Right?
She took her baby. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If someone takes your baby,
crazy.
what do you do? I guess that's one thing to do.
Yeah.
And and apparently, I think it happened like years ago. Like I don't think it was recent.
Well, look at the movie Taken. Took his daughter.
Oh yeah,
he did worse than what that elephant did.
Yeah. Don't mess with people's kids.
Yeah, don't mess with the babies.
Yeah.
That elephant's like, I have very specific set of skills.
I'll trample you.
Yeah. And finally, a completely different topic. There is another article that might be good too for back to school reset. 4 tips on managing devices and screen time for families with back to school. They said, like, over the summer, you kind of get out of habits, for whatever is totally different. Maybe you're watching more TV, you're on your phone, the kid's on the phone more, the tablet more, whatever the case may be. So kind of like easing back into a more routine for now you're going to school, and also you're going to have to use it for school as well. So getting used to that, like setting up those boundaries. And they have a lot of like good articles on like how to talk to kids from like K to 5th grade and then from 5th to 8th grade of like what to expect and like some good boundaries to set when it comes to screen time and stuff. So that might be a good article,
That's a great article.
To look over before the kids head back to school.
It's a big challenge, I got to tell you. It's a big
So,
challenge.
It's a challenge for me.
Were you guys the type of kids that wanted to go back to school or didn't want to go back to school?
Me did not want to go back to school.
Wait, you wanted to go back to school?
No, I hated school.
Oh, yeah.
But there are some kids that are like, yay, and they're excited, and they're back to school clothes, and I don't know.
No, the back to school clothes was fun. That was about it. And then you wear them all on the first week, and you're like, well, there it goes.
Yeah. I used to get sick thinking about going back to school. Like when you went to the store and you could see like they had all the school supplies out. I used to get sick because now they're doing them earlier and earlier.
Oh, I know.
Well, it's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do everything earlier and earlier now.
Well, I just bought my first pumpkin spice something. So
Oh, did you?
yeah, it's crazy. Anyway,
No. I liked like you find out who's in your classes.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We're like, oh.
Oh my God. I have to give a shout out to my guidance counselor because I went to a school and there were a lot of mean people in my school and I would go to her and if there were certain people in my class, she would take me out and put me
that's
in
great.
Oh, nice.
to avoid these jerks. And I know who I'm talking about. And if you went to school with me, you know who you are.
Yes, and if you did, hit
All
the
of
like,
you.
hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe.
Yeah. Make up for
Yeah,
jerks
exactly,
you were in
exactly.
school.
All right, thanks Nicole for that. And Sarah, what do you have this week?
I'm talking about some of our TV shows.
Nice.
So we all know that we stream a lot, but there are some shows that you can't stream, or you stream them when there's commercials and stuff like that,
Terrible.
or whatever. They don't have them all; they're leaving. So I just thought I'd pull some are the shows that I like.
Nice.
So if you like the TV show Monk, you might enjoy the TV show Psych.
Cool.
I love Psych.
Yeah, I never heard of it while it was on TV. I only got into it after TV. It was like on syndication or whatever. So I think it was USA
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
which I don't even know if that exists anymore.
Yeah, USA's still out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a comedy / mystery show, kind
Right.
of like Monk, right?
Yeah.
So it's a duo of Gus and Sean. And I'll just give a little synopsis of each thing, right? So most episodes begin with a cold open in the form of a flashback to Sean and Gus's childhoods. The flashbacks usually involve Sean and Gus being taught a lesson by a young Henry Spencer, who is played by Corbin Benson,
Oh.
who wishes that his son would follow in his footsteps and become a law enforcement officer. These lessons often play a role for the climax of the episode. As a child, Sean was taught by Henry to hone his powers of observation and deduction, often using games and challenges to test him. Sean originally becomes known as a psychic when, after calling in tips of dozens of crimes covered in the news, which helped the police close the case, the police become suspicious of his knowledge. And then Sean opens up a psychic detective agency, Psych, and his best friend, Burton Guster, who they call Gus, is a pharmaceutical sales representative, and he drives a blue Toyota Echo, which they named the Blueberry, which is very funny, because I had an Echo. But Timothy Amundsen, playfully named Lassie, nicknamed Lassie by Sean and Gus.
Oh, yeah.
He is Detective Carlton Lassiter. And then there is Maggie Lawson, who is a love interest later on. And then there is a chief officer. So it's just primarily those 5 people and their antics. And it's very funny. And it's about, I think, it's pretty long. It's like 8 seasons, I think. And there's like musicals and everything. And there's a lot of cultural references. So it's a fun, light TV show if you want to get into that.
Nice.
If you like Downton Abbey, I would go with Poldark.
Yes.
BBC show with the very easy on the eyes Aidan Turner, who plays Poldark.
Let me see him.
Poldark.
Poldark.
Yeah. He's a looker.
Yeah. I mean, universally good looking. This was actual novel written a long time ago. And this is not Downton Abbey era. It's set in 1783.
Oh.
So Captain Ross Venner Poldark returns from the American War of Independence to his home of Nampara in Cornwall. After 3 years in the army, and upon his return home, he discovers his father has died, his estate in ruins, and in considerable debt, and his childhood sweetheart, Elizabeth, is engaged to his cousin, Frances.
Yeah. A lot going on.
I know. A lot happens for Poldark. He meets a young woman called Dumbelza at a market and hires her as a scullery maid, but they fall in love.
They do.
And then it's... they do. And then it's, drama. All about Poldark and his family.
That's good.
Cool.
But it's very entertaining. It's quick. It's not... I think there's 4 seasons?
Yeah, typical BBC.
Yeah, so it's
not
like...
a lot of episodes on a lot of seasons.
If you, like I said, if you like Downton Abbey and that kind of family genre type of thing with the heartthrob and this is one of my all-time favorite shows, Northern Exposure.
Oh my goodness.
Right? So
that show.
Northern Exposure kind of came out when I like to call it the golden age of TV in the 90s.
We're in the golden age of TV.
No, this was when I would say My So-Called Life was out, Twin Peaks. So it was quirky. It was the quirky thing, right? So Northern Exposure lasted, I think, a while, 8 seasons. It was on Channel 2, which is, for everyone else, CBS, I think. Yes. So in the show, Rob Morrow, who went on to Numbers, played New York City native Joel Fleischman, a recently graduated physician who was sent to practice in Anchorage, Alaska for several years to repay the state of Alaska for underwriting his medical education. However, much to his chagrin, he is assigned to the much smaller and remote town of Sicily, which is in need of a general practitioner. Originally, the show focused on Fleischman's Fish Out of Water, but then it progressed to become more of an ensemble show, focusing on various other Sicily residents. And this is, who is the guy in, it's not Mr. Big.
John Corbett?
Yes, as Eden from Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Started in this, and he played a
Whatever happened to Janine Turner?
And she got dry eyes and did commercials.
Oh, is that her? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
All right. No, that's that was a great show.
Yes. So this was also like drama comedy, and it's very good. And you get to fall in love with all of the people in it. The next TV show that I would recommend for people who liked X-Files is a show called Fringe.
This had like a real big cult following. People love this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not, I think, 5 seasons or whatever. So we have Joshua Jackson of
Pacey.
of what's that show
Dawson's
called?
Creek.
Dawson's Creek.
And Mighty Ducks.
And Mighty Ducks. Yes.
Your
And
Charlie.
John Noble, who, if you know Lord of the Rings, he's in a lot of other stuff. He's in it. And Fringe follows the casework of the Fringe Division, a joint federal task force supported primarily by the FBI, which includes Agent Olivia Dunham, Dr. Walter Bishop, the mad scientist, and Peter Bishop, his son, which is Pacey. They are supported by blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to tell you all the people. But the Fringe Division investigates cases related to fringe science, ranging from transhumanist experiments gone wrong to the prospect of a destructive technological singularity to a possible collision of 2 parallel universes. Ooh, that's a lot right there, right? So it's just, it's sort of like X-Files, but brought up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then we have...
This is a classic one. Yeah.
Yes, if you like Grey's Anatomy, get into ER, which is sort of the precursor to
Yes.
Grey's, right?
Yes.
I remember my mom watching this show.
Oh, yeah. So you have...
heavy hitters in this one.
You have Dr. Green. You have the original McDreamy, who is
George Clooney.
George
right?
Clooney, Anthony Edwards, Noah Wiley,
Noah Wiley.
Juliana Margulies,
Yes.
and Eric LaSalle.
Eric LaSalle.
Yeah, so this was created by Michael Crichton.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and it had 15 seasons. So people love their long-standing medical dramas.
Yeah,
There were some episodes that were like...
They always make you cry.
Well, there were episodes were like shocking episodes.
Yeah.
Like with
like Grey's
what
Anatomy.
happens to Dr. Romano.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that one?
Oh, Dr. Romano. Yeah. So people, let me just say, I forgot about Dr. Romano. Yeah, if you thought Grey's was like,
Crazy with things
the
happening.
first,
Right.
you're wrong. It was ER, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and as you can
Helicopters falling
imagine,
out of
Yes,
the sky.
exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
I'll never forget that scene. Really, it's like no, right? He like
Yeah.
screamed, and he was like freaked out. He was like afraid to die before that episode. Like,
Yeah.
things were happening to
Yeah.
him. Yeah, remember that?
Oh, and then what's her face with the crutch? She was like,
Oh yeah, that was later on though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you pretty much got the gist of it. It's about these set of doctors in this ER and their,
And you know who
situations.
You know who directed episode 1, day 1, not the pilot, but the first episode is Mimi Letter.
Ew.
Mimi Letter.
Okay, so ER explores the inner workings of an urban teaching hospital and the critical issues faced by the dedicated physicians and staff of its overburdened emergency room. It is the most Emmy-nominated series in the history of television,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
with 124 nominations. So it's good, people.
So she did. Just so you know, she's done. Besides ER, she did The West Wing.
Oh.
She did Pay It Forward, the movie Pay It Forward. Deep Impact.
Oh.
Yes, she did.
That's a jump.
Yeah.
Yeah,
China,
go with them.
I
China
hate Pay
Beach.
It
Remember
Forward.
China Beach? Remember that show?
Oh, China Beach. Where there's
Yeah.
like
LA
0
Law.
Asians, but it's set in Asia.
And she's the executive producer of a new
China
show,
Beach.
The Morning Show on Apple TV.
Yeah.
There you go.
China, literally in the title. Okay. So the next one is called Crossing Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
So if you like forensic type of TV shows, I would recommend this. It's not that many seasons. There's like maybe 3 seasons, but they're all pretty good. And it's the main lead is Dr. Jordan Kavanaugh, and she was actually an ADA in Law and Order.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one, but if you see the cover,
Yeah.
you will know who she
Recognize
is.
her. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Jordan Kavanaugh is a forensic pathologist who lost her job with the Boston Medical Examiner's Office because of her passion for solving homicides, frequently extended beyond the autopsy table. Ooh. So years later, an old ally rescues Jordan from court-ordered anger management training in LA and rehires her to her former job in Boston. She's still feisty and mercurial and a pain in the butt, but you know, drama ensues. Blah 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 blah. So this is another good show.
Yeah.
To sink your teeth into.
Nice. And like you said, they might not be available on streaming.
I don't believe Crossing Jordan is. I don't think ER is.
No, I don't think it is either.
Yeah.
ER was on what, NBC originally?
Yes.
Is that a Universal show? Maybe it's on Peacock? I don't know.
I don't have Peacock, so I don't know. But either way, you have to pay for Peacock.
Yeah,
this
true.
you don't have to pay for.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's 16 seasons.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I would really recommend it, especially I know like a lot of younger people are getting into Grey's.
Right. Yeah.
You'll like ER just as much.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The original.
The original. And Northern Exposure too, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great show too. Yeah. We'll put that all in the show notes. Thank you, Sarah.
Sure.
Before we finish today's show, kind of ending it on a little bit of a sad note. Earlier this week, we lost. I get emotional here. My first crush when I was a kid, mentioned it during episode 200. Olivia Newton-John passed away early this week at 73 years old after battling breast cancer for 30 years.
Yeah, I was going to say she had it for a long time.
30 years she had. You probably know her. I think everybody would probably know her from Grease.
Yeah.
Which was an amazing, it was probably the most successful musical movie ever up till now, right? I think so.
I watch it every summer. I just watched it, actually.
1978, that was her big break. Before that, she was a very popular singer in Australia. She moved over to Britain, where she was also popular. She was actually made an officer of the British Empire. She was Dame Olivia Newton-John. And in between Grease and Sharknado 5 Global Swarming from 2017, she did probably my favorite terrible, awful movie ever, which is Xanadu in 1980, which is great. And she got back together with John Travolta in Two of a Kind, which was 1983, and also not a very good movie. But it was nice seeing them together again. Obviously after Grease, she did 1981. I think her biggest album was Physical. It was a big album, but so many great songs. She had a crazy life. Besides having cancer, her husband disappeared.
Yeah, that was a weird.
Yeah.
And when the cancer came back, it went into her spine, and she was a big proponent of. Medical cannabis use and for pain, control and everything like that. She created the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Center. It's funny. I was listening to Sirius XM a couple of days ago, and they played Magic, which is a song from Xanadu, which is a fantastic song. And I just remember saying to myself, I have a feeling, because she was stage 4, towards the end there. And I was like, I wonder how she's doing. And then on Monday she passed. So she was 73 years old, young, but the world is a better place for having her in it. So when you get a chance, folks, we'll put in the show notes a link to Olivia Newton-John items that we have in the collection. And it's also, if you happen to come in this week to the library, it's on the main adult floor. We have a display for Olivia Newton-John. And speaking of the adult floor, is open, ladies and gentlemen. Not 100% complete, but you can come down. You can browse our books. You can walk the floor. You can access the computers now. So nice. It's really beautiful. It came out beautiful. So if you're in the neighborhood in Center Reach, check us out. So that does it for this episode. If you want to listen to older episodes or read our show notes, you can visit our website, mcplpodcast.com. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. So for Sarah Fade and Nicole Rambo, I'm Sal DiMincenzo. See you on the next show.